A very good morning to all of you. So this lecture is about the dorsum of foot. As we have already discussed about the anterior compartment of the leg, it is just a continuation of that, a left portion basically. So in the dorsum of foot, we are going to study the muscle, the one muscle which you encounter in the dorsum, the artery which is going to supply that area, the nerve supply of that area, and venous drainage, right? And as well as cutaneous innervation of the dorsum of foot. So first of all, what is a foot? It is a region of the lower limb which is lying distal to the ankle joint. It is subdivided into ankle, metatarsal and the digits. The foot has superior surface which is known as dorsum of the foot, whereas inferior surface which is the sole of the foot. You have already studied that, right? So what is the function of the foot is that it is a point where the body is in contact with the ground and is going to provide a stable platform for upright stance. It is also going to help in levering the body forwards during the walking process, right? So bones which you encounter in the foot, you have already studied that the one which is going to form the heel portion is the calcaneum. The one which is lying just, which is going to form the ankle joint, right, which is going to take part in the ankle joint, and the one which is going to get articulated with the inferior surface of tibia, the talus. In front you can encounter there is a boat shaped bone, that is the navicular. The one which is going to articulate with the anterior surface of your calcaneum is the cuboid. From medial side, you can appreciate three cuneiforms, right? So those are medial cuneiform, intermediate cuneiform and lateral cuneiform. Later on you have 5 metatarsal, right? And of course there are phalanges, proximal, middle and distal. So these are the bones which are going to form the foot. Talking of the cutaneous innervation, so you can see over here, whole of the foot, it is supplied by the superficial peroneal nerve, right? Whole of the dorsum of foot is supplied by the superficial peroneal nerve. Some part, that is the first web between first and the second toe, it is supplied by deep peroneal nerve, right? Over here in the lateral side, you can appreciate the small portion, it is supplied by sural nerve. And towards the medial side, you can also appreciate that the superficial saphenous nerve is also taking part, right? It is also going to supply the medial part of the foot. So these are the nerves which are going to supply the dorsum of the foot. So most of the part is supplied by superficial peroneal nerve. If we talk of venous drainage, so there are the whole of the venous is drained into greater venous vein and the short saphenous vein. Greater venous vein, it takes the venous drainage from the medial side of the foot, right? Whereas the lateral part of the foot, it drains into the great saphenous vein. From the medial part of the foot, it is drained into the great saphenous vein, whereas the lateral part of the foot, it is draining into the small saphenous vein, right? Whereas what happening over here is, many of the small veins, many of these communicating veins or the distal veins, they are draining into this arch, the arch, right? So these arch from the medial side, it is draining into the great saphenous vein, whereas this arch on the lateral side, it is draining into your short saphenous vein. If we talk of the great saphenous vein, it runs or it ascends into the leg just in front of your medial malleolus, whereas the short saphenous vein, it runs or it ascends in the leg just behind the lateral malleolus. So I'm just going to read over here. So dorsal venous arch, this is the dorsal venous arch which lies in the subcutaneous tissue over the head of the metatarsal bones and drains the medial side of the foot into the great saphenous vein and the lateral side into the small saphenous vein. right? So this great saphenous vein, it ascends just in front of your medial malleolus, whereas the short saphenous vein, it runs just behind your lateral malleolus. So the greater part of the blood from whole of the foot, it is draining into this arch via these digital veins and the communicating veins from the sole, which pass through the interosseous spaces. Only one muscle that you encounter in this dorsum of the foot is the extensor digitorum brevis. So extensor digitorum, the muscle of the dorsum of foot, it takes origin somewhere from the upper surface of the calcaneum and from the inferior extensor retinaculum. So you can easily appreciate it is taking origin from the upper surface of calcaneum and inferior extensor retinaculum. What happens to this muscle is it divides into 4 tendons, right? You can see over here it divides into 4 tendons and it is getting inserted onto the proximal phalanx of the medial 4 toes. So first one is going towards the proximal phalanx of your big toe, then towards the second toe and third toe and fourth toe. So it is going to get inserted onto the proximal phalanx of the medial 4 toes. Nerve supply of this muscle is the one which is going to supply this dorsum of the foot is the deep peroneal nerve, the nerve of the anterior compartment, and the action of this muscle, it is going to extend these medial 4 toes, right? So you can appreciate over here the muscle is taking origin from the upper surface of calcaneum and it is getting inserted over this area. You can see over here also. Now, how's the insertion of tendons of extensors of the tendon are going to get inserted? So what happens is the tendon of the extensor digitorum longus, this the one which is coming from the anterior compartment of the leg, it is going to pass deep to the superior extensor retinaculum and inferior extensor retinaculum. Then this tendon is going to divide into 4, which passes to the lateral 4 toes opposite the metatarsophalangeal joints of second, third and fourth toe. Now each this tendon, it is joined on its lateral side. As you can see over here, it is joined on its lateral side by the tendon of extensor digitorum brevis, right? Now there is something known as extensor expansions. On the dorsal surface, what you see is that the extensor tendons, they are joined by a fascial expansion and it is going to form a expansion named as extensor expansion. What happens is near the proximal interphalangeal joint, the extensor expansion, it splits into 3 parts, right? One is the central part and 2 lateral parts. The central part, it is inserted onto the base of the middle phalanx, whereas the lateral 2 part, they are getting inserted into the base of the distal phalanx. These expansions are also receiving the tendon or getting insertion of the interosseous as well as lumbrical muscle. Now a word about the synovial sheath. What happens is that the extensor digitorum longus and peroneus tertius, they are covered by this blue colored structure, that is the synovial sheath. These as they pass just below the extensor retinaculums, these sheaths, they extend proximally for a short distance just above the malleoli, and below it is reaching up to the level of base of your 5th metatarsal bone. So these are the synovial sheaths which are going to cover the extensor digitorum longus as well as peroneus tertius. The only artery which you are going to appreciate in this dorsum of the foot is the dorsalis pedis artery. This dorsalis pedis artery, it is a continuation of the artery of anterior compartment of the leg, that is the anterior tibial artery. What happens is, as this artery descends between the two malleoli, that is the lateral and medial malleoli, superficial in the position, it is crossed by inferior extensor retinaculum and the first tendon of the extensor digitorum brevis. If we talk of the relation, as we have talked about the structures underlying the retinaculum, so towards the lateral side of this artery you can appreciate deep peroneal nerve and extensor digitorum longus, whereas on the medial side you can appreciate extensor hallucis longus tendon. This artery can be easily pulsated, right? Now how this artery is going to terminate? It passes downwards into the sole between the two heads of the first dorsal interosseous muscle, where it joins the lateral plantar artery and it is going to complete the plantar arch. So this is the termination of dorsalis pedis artery. You can easily pulsate this artery over here. What are the branches of dorsalis pedis artery? As you can see over here, the relation of the dorsalis pedis artery, you can appreciate that the nerve is lying laterally, then extensor digitorum longus is lying laterally, medially there is extensor hallucis. So what are the branches? So first of all, you can appreciate there are lateral and medial tarsal arteries. There is another branch, that is first dorsal metatarsal artery, which is going to supply both the side of your big toe. Then there is an arcuate artery which gives off second, third and fourth metatarsal arteries, dorsal metatarsal arteries, which is going to enter into the cleft of each toe and it is going to divide into two dorsal digital arteries, right? Lastly, the deep plantar artery passes deep to enter the sole of the foot and it joins the lateral plantar artery, forming a deep plantar arch. So this is the branches of your dorsalis pedis artery. Talking of the nerve of anterior compartment is the deep peroneal nerve, the anterior tibial nerve, also known as anterior tibial nerve. Deep peroneal nerve enters the dorsum of the foot by passing deep to these retinaculums on the lateral side of the dorsalis pedis artery. Then it divides into medial and lateral branches. Medial branch, it is going to supply the skin of the adjacent sides of big and second toe, as we have seen in the slide of cutaneous innervation of dorsum of foot. Whereas the lateral branch, it supplies the extensor digitorum brevis. Both terminal branches, they give the articular branches also to the joints of the foot. So these are this is the description of your deep peroneal nerve. So this is all about the dorsum of the foot. Thank you so much.